Howdy folks, and welcome to this reaction of Vagrant Queen, the official trailer 1. As you can see from the screen there, it premieres on Sci-Fi on Friday, March 27th, 10 o'clock, 9 Central. I remember a little bit about this. I just read the description here. With a civilization at stake, it's this queen, this deadbeat, and this mechanic against the whole damn galaxy. Okay. First thing that reminds me of, even though this looks like it's kind of a fantasy-ish sort of setting, although it's obviously space, it reminds me a little bit of Killjoys for some reason, just by the description. Obviously, this image doesn't remind me of Killjoys, but the description kind of does. So, I guess let's see if this has anything to do with Killjoys or if it's something else entirely. I mean, obviously, I don't think it's like a spin-off of Killjoys or anything, but does it give me that sense? Is it something else? Let's find out, shall we?
You are the last of a royal bloodline. We cannot let the monarchy die out.
Do you not hear the crazy?
Oh. Prosthetics, at least.
And guess what? I got over it.
A lot of them.
I am not your nightlight in this darkness.
You are ridiculously badass.
Raised by scavengers. Turned to fight or learn to die.
She reminds me a lot of the lead from Killjoys.
Yeah, I hear ya. Grew up in Canada.
The fact that she's just badass and everything.
I am sorry that you made me shoot you.
The two of you won't last 5 minutes without me. Hang on tight.
Or maybe a little Firefly, too.
Sometimes it does feel like we have a giant flashing neon sign over our heads. It says, shoot here.
So they're all human, it looks like.
You have a loyal army here to protect you.
I do not want to be your queen.
Oh, well, maybe not her.
Trying to hide.
Yeah, her ears are different, aren't they?
Show yourself.
Are they?
I hate labels.
Yeah, they are.
We're a team. One of us falls. We all fall.
Well, I guess the mechanic is different, too. Never mind. I thought they were all three humans. They're not. Just him, it looks like. We're going to watch that again. I think there's going to be a little tag here, maybe. Nope. Watch that again.
Of a royal bloodline.
In fact,
We cannot let the monarchy die out.
let's turn on subtitles if we can.
Do you not hear the crazy? The revolution destroyed everything. And guess what? I got over it. I am not your nightlight in this darkness.
Oh, they took out the word.
Badass.
Raised by scavengers. Turned to fight or learn to die.
Yeah, I hear ya. Grew up in Canada.
Grew up in Canada.
Apologize.
Probably been filmed in Canada, so that's cute.
Let me shoot you.
The two of you won't last 5 minutes without me.
Okay, yeah, she's definitely an alien. Did not notice it at first. So, about the prosthetics, cool. I'm all for that. That kind of they're trying to go with the whole Star Wars sort of vibe, maybe Star Trek too. But I'm a little worried because shows that have a lot of prosthetics tend to be even more expensive these days than shows that have a lot of special effects. Because that's become relatively inexpensive for cheap special effects. But by cheap, I don't mean not good looking, but I mean the kind of stuff that is normally done all the time in shows have become fairly cheap. I'm not going to say it's cheap, but I mean, but prosthetics, good prosthetics, ears on all the extras and all the actors. I noticed that they put a lot of people in these helmets, so you don't have to put any makeup on them, but at least it's costuming. It gets expensive, so now I'm worried about how expensive this show is. The acting looks pretty good. Let's keep going. Yeah, all these varied species is very Star Wars-like.
We have a giant flashing neon sign over our heads. It says, shoot here.
We have a queen to kill.
Yeah.
You have a loyal army here to protect you.
I do not want to be your queen.
Somebody's trying to hide. You damn well make a show of yourself.
So this
I hate labels. We're a team.
does kind of remind me of a whole bunch of different shows. There's no show that I look at this and say, oh, this is just another one of those. There's bits from movies, recent movies, and I'm horrible with titles, so I can't even pick them out, but there was some recent movies where there was like a queen or a space queen. Can't remember the name. Don't worry. But it reminds me of that movie. A little bit of Killjoys in here, sure. You've got I lead 3 characters, which is what Killjoys had, with a badass female lead. A little bit of Firefly in the fact that they've got this mechanic, this kind of wisecracking mechanic. I like that. That's about the only thing I pull out of Firefly, other than the fact that it's space-based and it's got a small crew and that sort of thing. Premise seems to be that she's a queen on the run. I don't know why she's on the run. Is it her choice? She doesn't want to be stuck in this role that she's been destined to hold, and she doesn't want to do it anymore. I suppose we'll find out pretty soon in the series, but she seems to be on the run for some reason, and she's kind of teamed up with these other 2. She was by herself in the beginning. She met up with him, it looks like, when she was doing some sort of was she just on a quest or a hunt or something for something? And she ran into him, and then apparently they teamed up with her. Now, maybe she ran into her first as an engineer on a ship that she had purchased or taken or whatever, or fallen into. I don't know what order it happened in, but they all hook up as the 3 of them, as this crew on some sort of a small ship, I guess. I'm guessing since it has a crew of 3. Which, again, it gives a very Firefly, Killjoys-ish sort of feeling, but it's not the same premise. Well, I mean, you could argue it might be kind of the same premise of Killjoys in the sense that the lead of Killjoys was part of this powerful, or related to or connected to this powerful group of people, right? The leadership of the ones who led the whole quad or whatever in Killjoys. In a way, she was marginally connected to that group, right, through the way she was created. So she could considered a princess. I think people have even called her a princess or something at some point. So maybe there's a little more Killjoys in there. So this might... That was the impression I got when I heard about it, was that this was kind of the successor to Killjoys, now that Killjoys is not on the air on Sci-Fi anymore. That they wanted another show kind of like that. Again, not saying it's exactly the same show, and not like they're rebooting or anything. It's just they wanted that same vibe. And I think that they're trying to get that vibe with this show.
We all fall.
Yeah.
Shall we?
Yeah, teaming up like that. I mean, some of these shots are very Killjoys-esque as well. All right. It's a good show. Looks like a good show. Like I said, the acting's pretty good. The effects seem okay, although it's real quick, and we're only getting some of it. The prosthetics look okay. There was that one alien where he's talking about putting a sign over your head, and I looked at the prosthetics, and I'm like, oh boy, that's not very realistic looking. But apart from that, everything looked pretty good. So I will definitely be watching it. We're going to be talking about it, I'm sure, on our podcast, Tuning Into Sci-Fi TV, so check that out if you haven't already. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about this other than if you guys also saw these, or you've been following on the show, following along with it, and you know, want to talk about it and know what's coming up, then maybe I missed something completely. Let me know in the comments. Appreciate you being here, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.